Have you heard? God is dead. Yep. The assassin, Nietzsche. Friedrich Nietzsche. 007, licensed to kill God. That's what they'd like you to believe anyway, that God is dead. You know, that line is tattooed on more body parts than Sanskrit on a yoga instructor. You know, the kind who preaches inner peace but raves every summer in Ibiza. Yep, God is dead. It's the mantra of every self-proclaimed card-carrying atheist. That I read one Nietzsche quote and now I'm enlightened as fuck kind of guy. Ever ready to mansplain the universe to anyone trying to eat their lunch in peace. But my favorite, the professorial collegiate atheist, the high priest of smug certainty. You know, the guy with the corduroy jacket with the suede elbow patches and a mug that says, think critically on his desk. Think critically. That's as long as it's about anybody else's worldview, but his, of course. He likes to lean back in that squeaky tenured chair of his and breathe in the rich, earthy aroma of his own superiority. You know, it's small batch and artisanal. And then he likes to deliver the same hackneyed monologue that he's been giving since before half the class's parents were born. You know the stuff, right? Religion is obsolete. Science is the new church. Nietzsche was the patron saint of intellectual rebellion. And if you want to connect with the kids, he says that he's the goat of edgy atheism. As if Nietzsche had a license to kill Christmas and Easter. But here's the thing. That's the amputated version, the reductive bumper sticker tattoo parlor version, and it completely misrepresents Nietzsche's position. But then again, this wouldn't be the Brain Salad Surgery podcast if we didn't set the record straight and emancipate poor Friedrich Nietzsche from philosophical death row. Nietzsche's actual, complete quote was, God is dead, God remains dead, and we have killed him. I'll say it again. God is dead, God remains dead, and we have killed him. Everybody leaves the rest out somehow conveniently. But why is that important? Because the part that actually detonates is his next question. Must we not become gods ourselves to appear worthy of this deed? Ooh. Let's put it all together and then we'll unpack it, okay? God is dead. God remains dead, and we have killed him. Must we not become gods ourselves to appear worthy of this deed? Wow, it seems like he's celebrating God's death, but he wasn't. No matter what Professor Pipe Tobacco tells you, it wasn't. It was a diagnosis. It wasn't an anthem to emo nihilism. It was a warning. Nietzsche saw a world where old sources of meaning had collapsed and nothing had stepped in to replace it. So what did he mean? Let's break it down. God is dead meant that we've eradicated God from society. The church was no longer the central force in life that it once was. God is still dead. There's no going back. You can't stuff the genie back in the bottle. And we've killed him through science, rationalism, secularism. We've stripped the society of religious faith. Must we not become gods ourselves to appear worthy of this deed? Well, that sounds pretty grandiose, but what he meant is now that we've created the void that God once occupied in our lives, it's incumbent on us as a society to create meaning, values, and purpose. This is why Nietzsche was warning, not celebrating. If you destroy the old source of meaning and the traditional institution of religion, you inherit the responsibility of building a new one. And that's where the gay science comes in. What? No. Yep. No, I'm not talking about lesbian lab technicians. It was 1882 and there wasn't a pride float in sight. The Gay Science. That was the name of the book. My son's going to kill me when I say this, but it was Die Fröhliche Wissenschaft. That was the book. The Gay Science. It was Germany, 1882, okay? So gay meant joyful, life-affirming. Science meant wisdom, not lab coats and, bench testing. So I guess you'd say that gay science could be interpreted as the joyful art of living wisely. Nietzsche believed truth wasn't something you memorized. It was something that you lived, created, you forged through struggle, courage, and yes, believe it or not, deep existential laughter. The pursuit of truth, not with bitterness, but with joy and courage and creativity. He believed that joy was a form of courage. I mean, honestly, who'd have thought the God is dead guy actually had a sense of humor? I mean, he posited that the only way to survive the death of your old certainties was to learn how to dance without them. I mean, okay, here's the thing. People quote God is dead like it's a mic drop, but Nietzsche meant it as a responsibility, not a rebellion or a dramatic punctuation. If the old source of values is gone, you don't get to hide behind cynicism, tattoos, and clever coffee mugs. You have to build something meaningful for yourself, create values. You have to become the kind of person who can stand in a world without guarantees and still live with purpose, intensity, and joy. Nietzsche wasn't high-fiving anyone. He wasn't celebrating anything. He wasn't throwing a funeral for God and handing out armbands to the philosophy department. What he was doing is issuing a warning. God is dead wasn't a victory cry. It was observation. Nietzsche was looking at society shedding its old spiritual framework faster than it could build anything to replace it. The church had been scheduled for demolition. Bang, the charges were set, detonated, boom, the building was leveled. And now you'd better be ready to build a new one. He didn't kill God. He was just posting the obituary. He saw the consequential vacuum, a moral, cultural, existential vacuum. And he knew that nature does not tolerate vacuums. Something would have to fill the space. Ideology, nationalism, groupthink, the worship of science as a religion instead of as a method, the worship of the state as a god instead of government. Sound familiar? Nietzsche wasn't the murderer of God. He was the harbinger of the New World Order. And you know what? The irony of it all? The academics that shout God is dead the loudest and defend the New World Order the most fanatically are the very same ones that in his time Nietzsche called the pale, consumptive spiders of the spirit. Nietzsche wasn't some sad emo philosopher. The guy laughed, he joked, he roasted academics for fun. The stuffed shirt intellectuals read Nietzsche's words like they were carved on a tombstone. Well, fuck them. In actuality, he was a warm, polite, gentle man with a mischievous smile, capable of tremendous laughter. He thought joy was a philosophical weapon and humor was proof that you were strong enough to face the truth without flinching. I mean, not bad for the guy that pop culture thinks invented depression. Food for thought.